All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got something that we need to talk about today, and I'm going to be entirely honest here. I thought after the prior videos that we had talking about the rat, talking about all of the different things that they were misconstruing, all of the stuff that they were getting called out for talking shit behind the scenes, called out for inherently doom posting the game, we went ahead, we uploaded this entire video explaining the situation. We finally talked, and boy oh boy, you can tell from the comments, you can tell from what's going on, you can tell from her silence, especially at this point in the call where she's actively getting called out for all the bullshit she's been doing behind the scenes to talk some shit. It seems like this rat has not really learned her lesson. Because boy oh boy, I've got a lot of screenshots of a lot of Discord messages, and it seems like it just doesn't stop. And so, despite the fact that we got publicly humiliated for all of the bad shit that we've been doing across numerous platforms, we just can't stop talking. And specifically, we just can't stop talking shit. And so I guess it's time to address it. I guess it's time to talk about some stuff. We even have some glue, some evidence provided by some of our most loyal viewers. And what you'll find is that this glue, this evidence, it only further disproves the points that she's been making. So with that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So first message that we're seeing over here. Okay, you know what? I was wrong. It's not 15% power creep. Now it's like 25%. So it is what it is, right? And she follows up with another message over here. I never doom posted anything, by the way. Drama over math by people who don't understand it. Yep, that's why these numbers are shifting so much at so many points with so much frequency. We got some more posts. Ironically, it's the people who are defending their agenda who are making such a big deal out of it. The thing is, nobody said it was breaking the game. Yeah, you just happened to say a blanket statement of a rotation that's not actually possible. And we'll show why it's just not possible. You're saying that that's 15% power creep. People will do anything in their power to say it's fake, but they can't have the word power creep in their beloved gacha game. We're perfectly fine with talking about power creep if it's real and not theoretical and absolutely fake. Because boy oh boy, with all the video evidence that we've seen showing this mythical rotation, it's becoming more and more clear that these numbers don't make any sense at all. Nobody even cares or knows about how theory crafting works. We're also focused on this idea that theory crafting focuses on the theoretical possible maximum performance of the character. And so we're just calculating it all under perfect conditions. Yeah, so let's keep reading over here, right? This is more evidence of some shit talk that Maggie's been doing behind the scenes. I know we've already taken a look at a lot. This is actually new to me, where Maggie lies about me being in the Kuro Partner CC program. Maggie lies about me making money off the Kuro Partner CC program. And then Maggie also lies about the type of content that I make and what's in the program. And then also lies about the amount of money that I'm making as well. And again, this is all public. This is all on public forums, all on public discords. And so we just don't know. There's a new one? Okay, yeah, that's her saying her peep was S3. I don't think that's too relevant. So yeah, we've seen a lot of the posts already. Now let's get into a demonstration by one of her strongest warriors. So one of the big things that is called out about Maggie's triple Nightfall rotation, which we're going to be seeing over here, is the fact that on her first calculation of the sheet, this Nightfall rotation took about 8.6 seconds. On the second calculation of the sheet, the triple Nightfall rotation took 11 seconds to account for increased timing. This is gameplay footage from one of her sweatiest viewers trying to prove that, yes, my queen was correct. She was right all along. It's all not just theoretical. It has practical application too. And I'll prove it by doing this rotation really fast. So let's see. Let's see what's going on over here. So we start off the Zani liberation, right? It starts at about 4:39:50. I think we'll start at around 4:39:50. Let me see if I can just wait, no. 4:39:54. That is when the Zani rotation starts. And so let's see how long it takes this giga sweaty player to do their 3 Nightfalls, along with all those swaps. Let's check it out. Okay, that's one. So we start off and we finish it, right? At 4:26:81. At 4:26:81, after starting it, 4:39:54. Is that 13 seconds? Is that 12 and a half seconds? I don't even know if they did the rotation right, to be honest. If I'm frankly being honest with you, I don't even think they did the rotation right. But that's how long this one is taking. And so, let's be real here. Let's look. All this Zani is doing is just attacking the whole time. It's not like we're doing any crazy dodges. Right? We're just sitting there attacking. Repeatedly attacking, one after another. And it's still taking us more time than what's happening on the sheet. 12.73 seconds rounds it up to 13. Guys, what's the point of these theoretical rotations when we're talking about the theoretical possible? And even when we go ahead and we're just sitting there inputting the attacks one after another, we're not even close to the timing of 11 seconds that we keep talking about. What is the point of these rotations? What is the point of talking about these theoretical maximums? Why are we going ahead and telling people that they don't understand math when you're going ahead and calculating rotations that cannot be replicated by a human under any circumstance? Why are we saying that nobody even cares or knows about how theory crafting works when we're putting in rotations that cannot be done in the time that we're saying it can be done? Nobody's denying that you can do a triple nightfall rotation. Anybody can do a triple nightfall rotation. But when you're severely understating how long these nightfalls take to do, and then we're going ahead and we're saying 15% power creep, that's the issue. That's the problem. And again, when we're repeatedly still talking shit about the situation, still, guys, what's going on? She's even talking more shit about the fact that I pinned one of the posts that are talking about how her calcs are true, even though we've demonstrably proven that they weren't true. That doing a triple nightfall in 8.6 seconds is one of the most crackpotted things in history. And even in the most sweaty gameplay clips, we're seeing 13 plus. And then we're joking that I misclicked the delete button, that I'm deleting comments critical about me on my channel, continuing to talk more and more shit, even up to as frequently as May 3rd. And so I decided, hey, why don't we put some of our money where our mouth is? Except this is the thing. It's really easy for me to disprove Maggie. Really easy for me to disprove Maggie. Because all I need to do is actually try out this team and not do a nightfall within 11 seconds. But I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to try to play this as sweaty as possible to get off every single nightfall I can. We're not going to do the rest of the bullshit across the rest of her rotation. We're going to go ahead and we're going to practice this shit and see if 3 nightfalls is even humanely possible. And this is the thing. I think I'm not even going to do it with any swaps, just so that we can see how fast you can do 3 nightfalls with no swaps. So let's get right on into it. So the only thing that we really have to worry about, right, is building up all of our frazzle stacks. Getting onto Zani. Oh, whoopsies. Getting onto Zani, right? All right, here we go.
Knock some heads around. Reduce to dust. My shield can withstand more than that.
All right, that should be perfect. That should be perfect. We'll show off a cancel version real fast. And this is where it matters, right?
Come at me. Reduce to dust.
Oh, damn it. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work because we parried it. Whoopsies. Ooh, we parried that one. Whoopsies. Yeah, we gotta try it again without parrying. Because I guess this rotation requires us not to parry the boss. We gotta reset until we reach the power creep. You're right.
I don't have all day.
We parried him again. Whoopsies. We parried him again, guys. Yeah, the skill issue is parrying him too much.
Shut. Sentinel. All yours. I can spare a minute to knock some heads around. Come at me. My shield can withstand more than that.
And that's what a cancel looks like. I just don't do the final move. All right, so you clearly saw with that rotation, it took us quite a bit of time, about 13 seconds with no swaps to get in all of those attacks, to get in that triple Nightfall. While on Maggie's sheet, the one that she's been using, right, and saying, and continually standing on that 70k DPS with, you can see over here, she's taking way less time. Some could even say, it's only about 11.5 seconds that she's taking to shove in 2 swaps to Phoebe, where she does a basic attack 1, 2, 3, a heavy attack as well. We shove in 2 of those, and we're doing triple Nightfalls in 11.5 seconds. However, this is the crazy thing, and this is the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, or they'll probably try to use this to call me out. Oh, well, Saint, she's canceling the 3rd Nightfall attack. She's canceling the 3rd Nightfall attack, and so she's taking a slight DPS loss in order to bring out this full attack chain. This is the thing. This 3rd Nightfall is not buffed at all by Blaze. And what you'll notice is that Blaze is a very, very big buff to Zani's motion values.
Anything I can
When you're at the point where you're doing a triple Nightfall rotation, you can see over here, you gain an additional damage multiplier per Blaze, and that's just not in effect on that 3rd Nightfall rotation. It's on effect in these moves, right? Everything leading up to it, but once you get to that 3rd attack, it's not really there. And so you might be wondering, if she's canceling her Nightfall, shouldn't the DPS loss be a little bit higher to reach that 11.6 seconds? So let's first and foremost take a look at what a regular Nightfall rotation is looking like. And we'll just get some frame perfect data for you guys. Using VLC, very nice, right? We'll see exactly when the timer starts. Did I break my computer? 4:40:83 is when we're starting over here. This is what a full Nightfall would look like. And you'll notice these hits over here, pretty meaty. 25.6k. And then we end over here, 32.8k on that final hit. And now we're casting the Liberation and then ending the rotation. It takes us about over 13 seconds to do this with no swaps at all. And all swaps are going to do is they will extend your rotation time by giving you more opportunities for errors in your rotation. So we saw over here, she's going to finish off the Liberation cast, and that's going to be it. Now let's take a look at a rotation where we do a cancel. And let's just make sure we get the right frame data. All right, 4:41:82 is where we're starting off this one. And let's see what it looks like when we do a cancel. $441.80 to 430.8.79. So we're still not at her 11.6 number, but we've also canceled a Nightfall attack, right? We canceled it halfway through. We only got those 2 hits off, and we're missing the 3rd strike that does another 2.5k, and then the last strike that does that 32. And so we're losing about over 50% of the damage on that Nightfall. But then we're going ahead on this sheet. The DPS loss isn't even close to that. Because A, these Nightfall attacks that are buffed by Blaze are doing way more. We see this 25k, right? 25k. Take a look at what the Nightfall hits are looking like when you actually are buffed by Blaze. 31, 30.9, 54k landing strike, 103.81. That is what a buffed Nightfall looks like. And let's just play it again. The old footage where it was unbuffed. $25, $25, and then that final hit's doing 32. You can see the DPS increase that you get from having Blaze. What this looks like to me, and what it looks like is being sheeted over here, is simply the full motion value of Nightfall, even though the move is being canceled. I'm almost certain at this point, this Nightfall damage, even though it said it's supposed to be canceled, it is way overstated how much damage is coming out over here. Because guess what, guys? We need to maintain the 11-second agenda. We need to maintain that this rotation is way shorter than what's humanely possible, we're going to cancel our third Nightfall and then proceed to not accurately actually show how much damage it's doing. Because, hey, right? We need to reach 70k DPS somehow. And so if we can't get it by lying about the Nightfall rotation taking 8.6 seconds, I guess we'll shove in a cancel and then not properly actually chart out how much damage it's doing. And guess what? You want to know the best part about all this? I'm pretty sure we can just pull up Maggie's rotation herself. Does she even cancel her own Nightfall? Let's see. You can see that 123k, right? Another 123k. She doesn't even cancel her own. She doesn't even cancel her own Nightfall in her rotation that she shows. And so there is literally no universe. Literally no universe where you're getting off an 11.5k, or sorry, an 11.5 second Nightfall without either having time manipulation buffs or you're doing what I did and griefing the damage of your rotation by proceeding to not land half of your attacks and canceling it early, like I just did right here. And that's what a cancel looks like. That's the only way to reach an 11-second Nightfall. But we're not cheating it like that, right? We're not cheating this Nightfall like it actually got canceled and that hits were taken off. And so we're getting all of the benefits from canceling the move halfway in terms of time savings, but none of the hits to the overall motion value and damage of the ability. And when it comes to validating this Nightfall damage, right? A regular Nightfall consumes 40 blaze. And so if you want to find the multiplier increase that you're going to have from using a Nightfall with full blaze, you can just go in and on your calculator, right? Type in 9.95 times 40, and you'll get a 398, or really 39.8% multiplier increase. You go ahead, you get your 1.398, and then you can just multiply that by this attack that we're seeing over here in Maggie's spreadsheet. This 167,688, which is her canceled Nightfall. And you can see how much this Nightfall would have done if it was buffed by Blaze. 234.427. And we just saw that you had to cancel numerous attacks. If you divide this by her actual buffed Nightfall Blaze, right, of 267.1, her canceled Nightfall is dealing 89.9% of the damage of a full one. Does this... Let me just play this again. Try to get without parrying, because I guess this rotation requires... And this is the canceled Nightfall right here. Oh, sorry. Actually, never mind. There is a little bit of Blaze consumed here. Oh, wait. There is a little bit of Blaze consumed here. So this is actually slightly buffed by Blaze. I think that's about, what? That's about 15 Blaze that it's buffed by. And so this is a 15... I'm sorry. This is 15 stacks of Blaze that are used on this Nightfall. I think you consume 10 on the first hit of Nightfall. Maybe it's 10? Whatever it is. We are heavily overstating how much damage this Nightfall is doing. Heavily overstating. If we're going to input a cancel in it. This is ridiculous. When a cancel that gets us to 11.7 seconds results in us skipping some of the 2 highest damage attacks in the move. And again, in her own gameplay, she's doing the full attack. Those 2 additional hits. Otherwise, we're only doing the first 2 to get the cancel off in time. She doesn't even cancel in this video. So yeah. That's just more proof that we're getting all the benefits of time saving, but then none of the penalties to damage. Wasn't this a sneaky way to increase the team's DPS? This is a pretty sneaky way of increasing the team's DPS. I don't think anyone noticed this part. I don't think anybody noticed this part. Are you guys beginning to see now? Remember how I said in my last video, I don't think it's even worth diving into this sheet because she's probably making shit up again? How many more times does there need to be a caught moment here? How many more times? Why is this Nightfall being sheeted so high? Why is the time still being understated? Because the only way to get this 11.6 seconds that we're seeing over here is to fucking cancel the Nightfall halfway through. We're getting all the time savings from canceling it, but none of the penalties to the motion value. And this is why I said these calculations are so fucking stinky. Because we're relying so much on these frame-perfect cancels and, like, these frame-perfect delays, it's so easy for us to manipulate this data. Because no one's gonna go ahead and look at this shit. There have been TCs. You had people like Selkie saying that this second sheet was perfect. You can clearly see, just from trying out a triple Nightfall rotation with no swaps, it's not possible to get this in. And the only way to get a triple Nightfall without swaps in 11.5 seconds is to cancel the third one. And so this damage is not accurately reflected either. Why is it so hard to see this? How are there people looking at this and being like, oh yes, this is good data, this is a good sheet? How are people like Maggie going out and invalidating all critique, saying it's drama over math by people who don't understand it? Nobody even knows or cares about how theory crafting works. You're just selectively inputting data to overstate how much fucking damage this team does, to drive forward your 10 to 15%, 25%, whatever it is, power creep narrative, and you're saying you're not doom posting. And you still, to this day, are talking shit about me for calling it out. And so, yeah, I'll keep digging. I'll keep looking. Because literally, all it took me, once again, was 1 hour on stream to disprove the entire thing going on in your chart. And the best part about this is that you are literally, there's no way for you to even deny this because you play the entire Nightfall. You use the entire Nightfall rotation in your own gameplay footage of the rotation. And you take 13 seconds here to do it. But yeah, we're still gonna say that Maggie was right, that her calcs are right. Guys, I simply just chose not to dig into them again because I was getting tired of correcting this rat's numbers for the third day in a row. But when she keeps talking shit, when she keeps saying that she's right, because her goal is to just exhaust you with numbers and sneak in shit like this into the calculations, just praying that nobody actually digs into them to draw her conclusions, and just overwhelms you with data, inundates you, so that you don't actually try to look, and you just assume that a mountain of data means it's right. Boy, oh boy, we had to do it again. We just had to do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another guest appearance from Maggie today, going ahead, talking even more shit as we're recording that video. Apparently, the fact that I decided to pull up a calculator instead of an Excel or Google sheet has led her to believe that A, I'm gonna need some help actually figuring out how it works. This is the thing, right? Why would I use a DPS calculator where we already heavily understated the time it takes to do shit, right? We've already shown that A, there's either something fucked up with the motion values, or B, there's something fucked up with the timing yet again. Why would I just use a calculator that's wrong? We just spent the past 30 minutes proving why it's wrong. And so no, I'm not gonna use something, again, that's wrong. I'd rather just show practically in-game how wrong it is. So that's really just that. 11.6 seconds. Why? Just stop lying. It's not 11.6 seconds. And if it is 11.6 seconds, you're canceling your final Nightfall, and the motion value shouldn't be this high. That's it. We can move on. So yeah, that'll be that. Hopefully that makes it clear what's going on over here, ladies and gentlemen. This is somebody who will double, triple, quadruple down, even when they've gotten caught on their numbers one time for understating timings, and they apparently went ahead and they got caught again. Except this time, they didn't understate their timings. They just overstated their damage. So yeah, let me know what you all think, guys. Peace out.